Simplified Mockup. It's also a new workflow, a new project that we have developed. 6 steps to get the mockup. It's very quick, it's automated, it's based on AI. So, in the first screen, we do have 2 occlusal curve types: ideal, which is symmetric, and following patient's curve. We're gonna go with ideal, select curve. I do have the option here eventually to change the curve because it's a mock-up. I'm gonna make the curve a little bit more additive so that the design it's gonna be also automatically calculated and be more additive. We go to the next screen. I can set my smile frame as a visual reference. Ratio, buccal corridor, smile curve. It's just a visual reference that I use to create my smile. As you can see, this right side is a little bit more canted than the other side. So here eventually we will correct the discanted occlusal view, occlusal curve, or we will keep it. We will see in the design. And here we have some very interesting options besides height ratio. We have the gingival margins. As you can see here, you can change the curve. We have the smile frame. That's the simulation of the curve of Spee. And we have the occlusal plane, which you can also adjust and make sure that the smile curve or occlusal curve follows the lower lip. Step number 2, we select the templates. We select the teeth from the teeth chart, and we can select the templates that we have. Step number 3, we can now make the adjustments of the design, but I'm going to select the cross-section view because then I have 4 views with the cross-section, and seeing the teeth in the cross-section, I can design in a way that is not too bulky, follows the axial angulation of the patient, and I see way more information that in one view, right? Occlusal view, cross-section, frontal view. So I do have the option to center here the teeth when I design. You see, it's always, they are gonna be always in the middle. That's the centered option. I can show the 3D outlines with the outline depth. Very important because now it's also very, very quick for me to finalize the mockup. And I always start with the centrals. So let's make sure that we have the correct occlusal angulation. These are my centrals. Not too bulky. You see, I can define how much thickness I want in my design. The lateral, I see the interproximal spaces. We do have a lot of space here in the patient's between the centrals, canines, and the laterals. So we need to fill up this space. I can do it by increasing the width and also checking a little bit the interproximal spaces. This premolar is one of our biggest problems here because it's in a very, very rotated position, but I think that's something that we can work with. I follow here the occlusal curve, and I think that's something that we can work with. I check the thickness. So from the ideal design, I can make sure here I have my very quick adjustments. like this. Let's check the design now with the templates. Here is my mockup design. Step number 4, I use the brushes now to make the adjustments on the gingival margins. So I'm gonna use the deform brush, adjust the gingival margins. Afterwards, I'm gonna clean the occlusal part of the mockup. Everything what we do now here manually, it's gonna be automated in our next version. So I think sometime in September, October, we're gonna have all these pieces automated. So you will just click on a button, and all these pieces are gonna be automatically adjusted along the gingival margins, and the palatal area is gonna be clean. Here we have like this. These are our molars that we need to take care of. And in the occlusal view, we can use the flatten brush that's going to be also automated to clean here the palatal area, so that the patient, when we create a mock-up, has a good feeling, can talk, can close the mouth, and doesn't have any material in the bite. So like this. If you want to, of course, if you have a plan to change the vertical dimension of occlusion, then we can also create the mock-up with the new vertical dimension of occlusion, and then you have more options to check everything what you design. Good. I'm gonna flatten here the molar. Oops. I'm gonna flatten the molars. In our case, we don't need anything. Just a clean bite. You can increase the intensity, of course, but then you need to be very, very careful, because if you increase the intensity, then more areas are gonna be affected. We apply. The changes now to the design. Step number 5, you can display now the design with light, with 3D light, and the technology that we have. You can place the smile in the mouth. It's the virtual mock-up, right? We can correct here a little bit the smile curve. I think that's good. Okay. And in step number 6, you can create the mockup. You can close the mesh. Let's create the mockup. You click on create mockup. Now we do all the operations in the background to unify the intraoral scan of the patient with the design. Here we go. You see, now it's one model, and to make it printable, we close the mesh, motivational mockup, select. Now the model is sent to the cloud. It's gonna coming back, closed, and you have the option to export and to send to 3D print.